There comes a moment after standing for a while when something begins to shift again. Not dramatically, not all at once, just a quiet sense that forward exists. Not as a destination, but as a direction. Small things return first. A task begun, a path walked, a hand reaching for something familiar. Life doesn't restart. It gathers, and in the gathering, we begin to recognize the shape of forward. Forward doesn't arrive as a plan. It shows itself in small acts. A paintbrush lifted, a gate opened, a path walked again, almost without thinking. The ordinary things return first, not because they solve anything, but because they steady us. Hands remember, feet find their rhythm again, a steady beat. Breathing becomes less shallow. The body finds its way before the mind is ready to follow. And slowly, without announcement, movement becomes possible again. As movement returns, the daylight begins to last longer, and with it, so does responsibility, not as a burden, but as something carried naturally. Time doesn't move in a straight line. It gathers in people, in places, in the hands that steady us, and the hands we learn to steady in return. Age and renewal sit side by side. Spring begins its work, while other things grow slower, more fragile, more deliberate. Nothing is out of place. It is simply the way life continues, through care, through patience, through presence. Forward isn't always visible. Sometimes it's felt at first, in the small decisions we make without thinking. A step taken, task begun, a moment of trust offered quietly. We don't always recognize it at the time, but something is changing. Not in the world around us, but in how we meet it. The ground feels steadier, our breathing deepens, the horizon a little clearer, and in that quiet clarity, the shape of forward begins to appear. Forward doesn't mean certainty. It means participation, showing up to the day in front of you, tending what needs tending, mending what can be mended, preparing even when the outcome isn't yours to decide. There is courage in ordinary work, in ladders leaned against old walls, in paint laid carefully, over weathered wood, in windows opened to the light. Not everything we restore is ours to keep, but we restore it anyway, because care is not ownership, it is stewardship. And somewhere in that quiet steadiness, something else returns, a lighter step, a longer breath, the hint of a smile that wasn't there before, like the first buds at the edge of a hedge, small, almost unnoticed, but undeniable, not forced, not declared, simply present. And in that presence, the day feels different. And so the days continue, not dramatic, not resolved, just lived. But the light begins to change. The days stretch a little further. Morning arrives earlier. Evening lingers just a little longer. And with it, something lifts. Not all at once, not enough to notice at first, but there's a sense of betterment, quiet strengthening, kind that comes when the world begins to lean towards spring again. And in that gentle shift, something steadies, something holds. Not everything becomes clear at once. Forward rarely announces itself. It reveals itself slowly in what we continue to do, in what we continue to care for, in what we choose to carry with us. There is still uncertainty, still change, still days that feel unsteady, but something has shifted, a rhythm returning, a steadiness beneath the surface. And step by step, almost without noticing, we begin to move again, not away from what has been, but through it, towards whatever comes next. And for now, that is enough.